Memorial Scott Credit Union. Yours.
Blue Note Hockey Fan Report. Yes, hello. Welcome to the show. My goodness, McDavid, I give you credit. I might have to admit the Avs are too fast, too good, and I'm not counting us out. But at this rate, they beat us in 5. Well, you know, McDavid, I'm watching this, and I got to tell you, the refs aren't helping your case, right? 2 of those 3 penalties were not penalties at all. I do like the non-call. I do like the non-call of the trip, but the first penalty, the very first one, where I forget who it was, gets Kadri. I think it was Kadri gets tripped, or whoever it was gets tripped. Newhook. It's absolutely he's falling, right? It was, to me, that there was more embellishment than it was trip. Same thing on the other penalty, the one for the first one. I didn't see the one that made it 5-on-3 for as long as it would. Oh, Makar. Yeah, Makar. Okay, Makar. Yeah, Makar absolutely took a dive on that. Absolutely took a dive. I will say this, however. Drysdale has adapted the wow, how do you not? Oh, you don't shoot there, you pass. Wow. I'm watching TNT a little bit, and they're showing some of the stuff. McDavid on Makar, and oh yeah, McDavid tried to get too fancy. Makar took it off his stick. Drysdale has figured out if they're gonna cheat, so am I, and he is just whacking everybody at the. And then I'm sorry, Kadri, such a punk. Kadri. To me, anytime he goes, "Ow, somebody hurt me," I laugh. I have no love for the Avalanche, and I have no love for Kadri, none whatsoever. Right? In fact, I even put it on there. Somebody on my YouTube channel put, the hate this dude has for the Avs is comical. Comical. Right? I don't know. It's not too much. It's that. They're given too much opportunity. I'm sorry. That line is dirty, and they get away with it. All 3 of those guys, Rantanen, Lincoln, and Kadri, have all had issues with dirty plays, and they get away with it. Until the league, buckles down on it, they're going to get away with it. That's all there is to it. I don't think you have the best line in hockey. I disagree with that. Sorry, I just McDavid may be the best player in the league now, but McDavid doesn't make anybody else better, right? He doesn't. He does not make anybody else better, and I've said this for a while. Right? Oilers are terrible passers. It sounds like that's what you think about the Blues. You don't think the Blues know how to pass. There, Jeff. Bad Jeff and Mad Jeff is here. Welcome, Jeff. Ashley might show up here in a little bit. I don't know if anybody else is. I really don't care. I actually, I've been having a shitty day. Shitty day. And started this morning shortly after I woke up. I was kind of in a high spot, and then it went away. Completely went away. Had an appointment today. Go out to my car. Get in, whoop, shit. Go walk around, I got a flat tire. Okay, it's a low, right? I limp it to a gas station, go to air it up, and then realize there's a huge ass hole in the sidewall. I mean, that's about the size of it. So had to pull into a Safeway Safeway, had to pull into the parking lot and change my tire. And it's amazing. I got to tell you, it's amazing how many people do not know how to change a tire. The first thing they asked me, did you call AAA? Oh, I changed my tire. I went to the back of my car, opened it, put my seats back, and pulled the donut, the temp spare out, pulled the jack out, looked at the jack to see how it fits on my car, looked underneath my car, slid it under, turned it tight enough to where I knew it would connect. And then once it connected, I turned it a little more so it had that footing, the weight of it. And then I jacked it up until it got high enough. So it was to the point where it was still on the ground so I could loosen up the lug nuts. I went and loosened all my lug nuts, had to put a little weight into it. They'd been on there a while. Loosened up all my lug nuts, continued jacking my car up to where the tire was free, took my lug nuts off, took the tire off, put the new one on, put my lug nuts on just to a little bit more than finger tight, then went and tightened, lowered it just enough so the wheel wasn't going to free spin. Then tightened the lugs, got the lugs in, right, to where they seated, because they don't seat the same on the donut as they do the regular tire. Then lowered my car, finished tightening up, put it in, and drove to the tire shop to get told it would take 10 days to get my tire fixed. Then I had to go to another tire shop to charge me $100 more to be able to fix it tomorrow. That's just the way life is sometimes. But no, I know how to change a tire, right? I know how to change a tire. I used to be a mechanic, right? I put it on Facebook. I put the picture of the hole in my tire on Facebook. I wonder if see if I can show it real quick. Yes, I know I'm supposed to be talking about hockey, but sometimes this can be fun to talk about too, right? Life is an interesting statement, and why not? Is anybody still with me and listening? What do you guys want to talk about? Talk to me. Don't make me feel so bored. Again, you guys are my therapy too. So there we go. So that is what I had to deal with today. Right? Passing in the NHL, I mean, to be honest, I like that, Jeff. I know. I'm not. You weren't the only one, though, E. You weren't the only one that asked me that. You were not the only one. Oh, excuse me. Wow, that one was pretty good. I don't like the Avs at all. I just don't like the Avs. They are. I don't like the way they play. I don't like the way the announcer slobbed their knob. I especially don't like the way the announcer slobs their knob. And for me, I absolutely do not like the way that all of a sudden Kadri is this great American hero. He's a hero because people called him bad names. Let's not forget who and what he is and what he's done in the past. Right? We were talking about it yesterday. 4 out of 5 years, he has injured someone enough that they did not finish the season. Wow. And fined with dirty hits. Suspended for dirty hits. Well, it's terrible what people said to him. I get it, but let's not sit there and make him bigger than what he is. Because he's not. A little too close to the curb, I guess. A little too close to the curb. Right? I'm with you. I absolutely with you. Oh my goodness. I would make one of your sons wear it. How's that sound, Bob? I agree with you, Jeff. Hey, I got the sailor in me. I got the sailor in me. Oh, what's that song? I got something in me. I got the love in me, or I got the something in me. I got the sailor in me, and he'll come out and smack you upside the head. Um, I trust me. I can say things that aren't. Look, I get it. I really do get it. I understand the things that were said to him should have never been said to him. I absolutely get that. Oh, well, let me see if I can find some chalkboards. Um, uh, on a pity pedestal because certain people, yeah, and that's absolutely right. I absolutely agree with that. The Dane machine, the Daner. No, I absolutely agree with that. He got put on a pity pedestal. Absolutely, he did. All right, and oh, Shocky. Shocky here yet? I am so jealous of that mother. So jealous of him. Um, he he got to go out the Blues the Blues Warriors that were in town because they're also a lot of them are up in Minnesota at a tournament this weekend. Got to go on the ice and skate on Enterprise, and then they're doing paint the ice. I think tomorrow. I think it is, or no, next week, early next week, like this. So not hockey related, but one of my boys looked at the opening of a soap bottle and thought about putting it in his, you know what, in there, and the other boy sitting. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh my goodness, what young children will do. No one's gonna let anybody like my singing. We know that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Bob, I'm with you there, my friend. I am with you. Are you still here, McDavid? Uh, you know what, McDavid? There's an, I've tried. Them guys basically, I'm a nobody to them. They've actually started doing. They've copied me, but I'm a nobody to them. I've been, in fact, well, I'll say this: they were the reason. They were the first time that I ever found out about this, and I actually thought they were the only ones doing it. So when I started my show, it was supposed to be a little different, but it changed out. I collaborate with them, but they don't like my opinions. They don't like the way I think and do things. And I was actually one of them. One of the guys from Let's Go Blues Radio put a thing out on Twitter about blues podcasters and that, and I was actually completely surprised that he put my name in it. Completely surprised. And I like that he put me and not the show. So that was kind of interesting. He could have put the show's Twitter, but he didn't. He put me. And that's fine. Right? That's fine. They are who they are. Come on, Edmonton. Let's just get one, I don't think the refs are going to let Edmonton score. I think they didn't start call penalties on Colorado until the game was 3-0. That was a surprise for me. But I'll tell you what, Edmonton has two huge holes, and actually, yeah, I see two huge holes with Edmonton. Right? Are you still there, McDavid? I want to know what you think Edmonton's two biggest mistakes are, or two biggest holes. And Sammy Helms, Jason Nichols, thank you for the thumbs up. Greatly appreciated. You're close. You're close. He says Nurse, Duncan Keith, and goaltending. Goaltending was my number one. My second is your bottom six. Your bottom six. Your bottom six just doesn't do it for me, right? If you shut down Draisaitl and McDavid, and that's it. You've shut everybody down, right? You've shut everybody down. And that's what Colorado's doing. They're shutting down McDavid and Draisaitl. Then why is he even out there? If he's playing at 60%, he shouldn't be out there. Yeah, I agree with you there, bud. I absolutely agree with you there. I have a question. One out of all of the teams in hockey, which one do you think is better? Uh, a question. One out of all the teams in hockey, which one do you think is better? And you can't say the Blues. Oh, so you asking who? I'm not 100% sure what you're asking. I'm guessing this is Dane. Okay. Are you asking which team that I think is the best team in hockey right now? Uh, for me, um, I have to go with the Lightning. I think the Lightning are the best team from 1 to 12 and 1 to 6 and 1 and 2. Down the lines, down the defensive front, on the blue line and in net. Right. I think that they just have too much. Now I know they did just lose to the Rangers at home, or on the road. The Rangers were at home, but no, I still think that until they're beaten, they're the best team for me. Right? They're the best team for me. No, I don't think they're. I like the Rangers, I really do, and I picked them. I picked them to go to the finals. I didn't pick them to win, but yep, and that's what he was asking. So for me, it's the Lightning. I think. Yeah, and you know what? This is the part of the game that is so underrated that people don't understand. I think there's one player that you can take off the Lightning and they don't win the last 2 cups. I absolutely believe that you could take this one player off that team and they don't win the last 2 cups. I want to see if anybody knows who I'm talking about. Right? I think that there's an underrated part of this game that this player brings each and every night, and if he wasn't there, absolutely. Uh-oh. We are in trouble. Mom is home. But Mom, I didn't do anything wrong yet.
Yet. Yeah, that's the key word, my friend.
Right? Yeah. No, I absolutely believe if Pat Maroon was not on the Lightning, they don't win the last 2 cups.
Maybe not the last one, but the first one they might have. But he does add a spark.
What he brings, but I think what he brought to the Lightning in that first one was that pedigree.
Yeah.
And also that
Ooh.
Pat.
You get hit with two of us.
Pat Maroon. I want to ask Shaggy.
Hey,
How you doing, bud?
high as a kite.
That's the way to be.
I mean, honestly, it was only.
Your team just won 6-2 yesterday, so I imagine you are high as a kite.
So here's my thing. I'm gonna be very careful with how I say this because most people are gonna be like, "Excuse me, how dare you?" The Lightning's defense did not look that good last night. I mean, I don't know if it was the time off. I can't say the Rangers looked good last night because there was a lot of times they made stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
But the Lightning did not look like a defense that I feel like the Rangers are going to have to be worried about. 2 things the Lightning don't do. Number one, they don't forecheck the same way the Hurricanes forecheck. They don't. They're way more physical with you. Number two, the Rangers really outmanned them down low. They really could not take away, like, the Rangers could get screens all they want. If you look at most of their goals, and I actually really want to break this down on like a full big screen, most of their goals was side to side, where they immediately had Vasilevsky looking one way, and it was one pass, and it was no player doing it themselves. It was a team game. They brought it from side to side, and they really had the best screens in the world. Vasilevsky was not able to see the puck. But yeah, I mean, I can't say this is going to be an entire series where the Rangers will look like this. It's not going to be a bunch of 6-2
I understand. For me, I see a little bit of the rust that was in the Lightning. Yeah. I also think that they were surprised by how good the Rangers actually are.
I don't even know that it's a surprise there. The Rangers are a different type of team than what the Lightning have faced thus far. Florida was very similar to their own style of play. I mean, wasn't it Washington they played first?
Right.
Yeah, Washington is a speedy team, but
No, they played Florida first.
no, Florida was last round. They swept them. They played Washington first.
Was it the Caps they played first?
I'm pretty sure.
It wasn't the Caps. It was Caps played the Canes.
Okay.
Boston? Was it Boston they played?
I think the Capitals.
No, Boston played.
The Capitals played the Panthers.
I might be mixing up my Florida teams because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Western Conference
they
gal.
played the Panthers, and then they lost to
First round. Okay. The first round, you had Hurricanes, Bruins, Rangers, Penguins, Maple Leafs, Lightning, Panthers, Capitals.
Tampa did play the Capitals. Okay.
Yes, they played the Capitals.
Oh, I was
and
wrong.
Then the second round.
I didn't think Tampa won that. No, Tampa didn't win that division, did they?
Tampa did not win the division. They were the lower seed to the Maple Leafs.
Okay, so no, Tampa played the Maple Leafs in the first round.
Yes.
That's what it was.
I mixed up my
Maple
Florida
Leafs
teams
in the first round. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Is it me, or do the Oilers, when McDavid's on the ice, it looks like one hockey game, and as soon as even Draisaitl's on the ice, it looks like a different hockey game?
Yes. And
Yes.
you know what? I've been talking about that for years.
Do you know? I really feel, I don't know what the cap space is on that team. I feel like that's a team where if they could get a really big name on that team, like an all-out winning year, you know what I mean? Like grab like a Philip Forsberg and like a couple of other, I know they need a goalie, but I even feel like even if you have a goalie, those third and fourth lines, I'm taking any third and fourth lines over them.
Yeah. Well, see, for me, if I was the Oilers, and especially if they do not get to the next round, I'm trading McDavid.
By the way, I'm going to answer this question
Okay.
from Tilo right away. Maybe it's because slap shots stick together, but I'm going to go with the Rangers as my favorite right now.
Well, I think. Well, what's teams that are playing? Do you think is the best? And for me, it's the Lightning.
I don't.
Yes, I know they lost to the Rangers. Hold on, I know they lost to the Rangers, but until somebody knocks them off that pedestal.
Okay, I'm gonna let me lay something out for you guys that is my dream matchup.
Okay.
We have a big argument always. Who's a better defender? Nazem Kadri. Not Nazem Kadri. I meant what's his name in the Avalanche?
Makar
or Fox.
Fox, hands down.
Why don't we match them up in the cup?
That's a good idea because if I was going to list all four,
I picked the Avalanche Rangers Cup.
Now let me explain to you though. I'm a Rangers fan, so I'm gonna be biased. Okay, that Fox is better. The only reason that I'm gonna say in a full honesty why Makar might be in a certain sense better is I think Makar has more puck moves. Fox, as talented as he is, he's not exactly a guy that's going to drive inside, make a nice move, and score. While Makar could do that all day.
it's how you worded the question. You asked who was the better defender. Yeah. Makar is an offensive defenseman.
Right.
Fox, hands down, defends better than Makar could, even on his best day.
Well said.
Now, if you look all around, though, Fox does have the ability to put up points. So he is an all-around better player.
So no, I'll agree with that. I agree with that.
I agree with that. But I'm saying if there are many people out there, if we're discussing just in total games, like which talents would I take over the other ones? The only talent I take from Makar over Fox is his puck handling sometimes and scoring ability by himself. If I'm taking a full player, I'm taking Fox all day. But in a sense, I'll tell you, although I'm a Ranger fan and I feel like the Rangers are the best team, obviously, blah, blah, blah. If I'm looking out of the Rangers of who's the best team, I'm taking the Avs. One of the reasons why is because although their goalie is not like, I'm going to say like a top tier goalie, and he's nothing close to Vasilevsky or Shesterkin, okay? And he's someone that I feel like they could find flaws in. And you could even see like the Blues were able to find flaws in him. It's not like the Blues were shut out every night. Okay, they looked better. Just think about this. And then you guys are going to like this. The Blues look better than the Oilers, okay? And they have Connor McDavid, okay? So when you see these type of things, it's how you play the team. I'm noticing this. Like, it's how you play the team. It's also how you defend your goalie. Darcy Kemper is defended, okay?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. No, I like
Help him
that.
out, right? And don't you feel like Darcy Kemper looked better this year because he went from the Coyotes to the Avalanche?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Excuse me. If I take right now Wedgwood, okay, on the Coyotes and put him on the Avalanche, his numbers will go from here to here. Okay,
Oh yeah,
all
absolutely.
day. That's part of the game. I can't stand these people when they're saying like, oh, so now it's all the goalie. Yes, the goalie can be talented as anything, but if I have so much pressure on me that I can't defend, are you kidding me?
The problem is there's no real good matrix for defense, right? To sit there really isn't. There's no real good number out there that you can take a goalie and separate a shot.
I'll give you a number. I'll give you a number. 2 numbers. Block shots. Shots. Okay, block shots are huge. When you see that you have defensemen with block shots, that shows you that they're doing well. If you look at the numbers of Trouba is one of the only players this year, I think, to have had 175 blocks and like 200 hits. Okay? Right. I think that was the number they brought up.
The problem with block shots is sometimes they get counted as deflections. And a block shot that deflects in the net doesn't help you. And that goes against the goalie.
Well, a block, that might happen. I agree. But I mean, that's a number you could look at where you see like, oh, you're helping out your goalie. That means you're being in the way of shots and not allowing teams. A block shot doesn't have to be on the outside zone. It could be on the inside zone as well.
Especially on the penalty kill.
And especially there.
I gotta tell you something. The guy that's making these comments, he's 9 years old.
No.
Yes. This is her son, Dane. This is a 9-year-old. Right?
Well, 1 second. When I hear that from a 9-year-old, I get scared because when a 9-year-old tells me the Rangers are underrated, that means like they really are.
Yeah, but I got to give him credit, man, because I know he doesn't watch a lot of hockey. I know he doesn't watch a lot, but he listens. Right? Very intelligent young man. And I think that he's listening and he's hearing things that are telling him this, and he might, I don't want to say he's regurgitating it, but he's absorbing it and then putting it out in his own way.
He'll be a star in the hockey world. Next McDavid right here. Okay. I go. My brother's like 17 years old, and he's not a big hockey guy. He's more of a baseball guy. And I started teaching him hockey, and he had a hard time watching the games. It's too fast for him. I started, introducing him to the Rangers and have him like he listens to the games. And he calls me up one night and goes, "Man, those Rangers are fast." I'm like, "What? You're listening on the radio? Rangers are fast?" He goes, "Yeah, they're always getting the puck." I said, "Okay, look, you know what? You're 17 years old. You're not watching the game. You don't know what's flying. But these kids take in what they take in. You know what I mean? They understand the game a different way. They listen to the game and they think they're watching it." I remember when I was a little kid how I used to take the radio, put it under my pillow, and start listening to it. My mom would come in and be like, "You still up?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm good."
I had one of those old style radio because I'm old, right? I had one of those old style radios down in my room that I would always have on KMOX and listening to the Blues games and listening to baseball.
I had this small like this, say about this big.
Yeah.
I only turned on to FM, and I didn't even know the stations, so I used to just listen to my ear till I heard a game, and at one point I remember I didn't know what I was listening to, and I landed up on some soccer game with a Spanish announcer, and he was screaming his head off. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry."
Yes, Dane, we know you're 9, and you're a pretty intelligent little 9-year-old, and we appreciate you, bud.
Man, I was spoiled because I had a TV in my room, and if there was a hockey game on, my parents knew, just keep the door shut. She's doing her thing.
Yeah. So I had a TV in my room too. My TV was a 9-inch black and white TV.
Yeah, I had a 19-inch, so I was spoiled.
9-inch with the single earplug jack. 20-foot.
Nope.
Totally 19-inch tube that was on my dresser, and my parents knew if the Blues were playing, it didn't matter what my bedtime was. I was staying up and watching hockey.
Size don't matter.
That's why baseball isn't slow to me, because I listened to it on the radio for so long. Yeah, baseball's still slow to me, even on the radio. I have a
I
hard
can't
time
watch
listening to
baseball. I can't do baseball at all.
So I'm going to disagree with that. I love watching baseball, but that's because I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate the game in the sense that you really are supposed to. For example,
There's too many idiosyncrasies. I appreciate the game. There's
no,
way too many.
the game, but to you it's a game. To me, it's like, wow, look at that curveball. Wow, look at that, plate presence.
Oh, that's the idiosyncrasies that I'm talking about.
Right. So you have different people. Like, I can watch the hockey game, right, compared to like just a fan, right? I'm a guy who's analyzing the game. So I'll sometimes actually, like, when someone scores, not react like with screaming and whatever, because he was watching the game in general and saw him score. Well, I'm like, wow, that was beautiful. Like the way they set that up and they moved the goal and that.
Yeah.
It's exciting in a different way. I mean,
I get you.
I wish they made baseball actually more exciting in a way. I just can't figure out if there's a way to do it. Like, maybe I always feel like if maybe they made old baseball stadiums inside and make the intensity, with the lights and with like the way that hockey game introduces the players. If they would do that, I feel like the game
I think one of the problems with baseball is the inherent offense defense issue, right?
Oh yeah. You got to switch it off.
You know what? The only way that I think you could make baseball a little bit more exciting is a one pitch thing, right? You get one pitch, right? And
I mean, like that. The ideas I heard.
But what you're looking at, see what you enjoy of baseball is very hard for the common fan to enjoy.
Well, how about, I heard these like couple crazy ideas, like switch it from 4 balls and 3 strikes to 3 strikes and 2 balls.
Go 1 and 1 right off the bat.
3 and 2 or something, like 2 and.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
All right.
That's one of the things. That's one of the things that softball does that. You go up with 1 and 1. Right. But actually, how about this? Make it 3 and 3. 3 balls, 3 strikes. Right. Take one of them away. Right.
Well.
And not only that, make all foul balls strikes.
I almost feel like a foul ball on 2 strikes should be an out.
Yeah, a foul ball. Make all foul balls are strikes.
Well, foul balls are already strikes. It's that when you have 2 strikes.
No, they're not. The third one is not a strike.
It is considered a strike, meaning, let's say I have a count that's 3-0 and I foul the ball off twice. The count becomes 3 balls, 2 strikes. After that, if I foul off the ball again, right, then it's just continues your at bat.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You're just going to have like 20 foul balls.
That's what I'm saying, that all foul balls are strikes.
Right, that should be a strike, and that's that exactly.
Right.
You guys think that the Oilers come back at home?
They're going to get at least 1 win at home.
Could they take 2?
They're going to get 1 win at home. I think that they're going to have. I feel that the crowd. I really do feel this crowd is swaying the refs. Right, there were 2 penalties called in the first period of this game. The first 2 penalties were called in this game were embellishments, absolute freaking embellishments. McCarr's trip, that was an embellishment.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the hook, he puts a stick up on the hands, just touches the hands, doesn't pull, doesn't do anything, and he gets called for a slash. Right, that's not a slash to me.
I think you need to send the guy to ref therapy.
Say again.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Like, I think we all have problems with refs. It's also how long we let it bother us. Where at a certain point you have to go like, okay.
Oh no, it doesn't. It always bothers me. No, I look at it now, and I said this. I've talked about this for 2 years now, if not 3, about the issues the NHL has with referees. Right? They're not the worst of the 4 major sports, but they're damn close. Right? To me, the worst is basketball. I can't watch a basketball game. There's a foul on every single play. It's unwatchable to me. But hockey is right behind it when it comes to refereeing. There are too many. I actually had an article buzzing around in my head for the offseason, the top 5 rules that the NHL needs to fix.
I can give you one.
Actually, I have one that no one thinks needs to be fixed that is more broken than you think.
I'm sorry, goaltender interference is the top.
Okay, you're right. Goaltender interference is number one, right?
And we've had
offsides
for that.
Offsides needs to be fixed.
Okay, that call from from 2 nights ago.
That was offsides.
That was offsides. And
by
the way,
here's the problem. Here's my problem with this. You call it delayed offsides, but in all actuality, all offsides are delayed offsides.
Right.
It's not considered an offsides until you touch the puck. However, how many times have we been told on an offsides call that you don't have to be touching the puck to have control of the puck?
Well, let me ask you. Specifically in last night's play, we know that was straight up offsides. In that situation, where I don't recall, did one of the teams challenge it?
Yes, it was challenged. Yes,
it was challenged, and then they scored on that power play that they got after they challenged it. So that play got 2 goals.
It was game one of the series.
On a goal. Okay, so here's how it goes. On a home run in baseball, there was something called the automatic review. And on a touchdown and a home run, there's something called the automatic review. You don't need to challenge it. Okay, on a goal, there should be an automatic review, right?
Here's the problem. The review is just of the goal itself.
No. But I'm saying that now we have to include into the review the offsides and goalie interference, which needs to be checked out every time they're looking for a goal. The game is fast enough.
I'm going to say I'm okay. I will say that I'm okay with that.
No,
right? I will say I'm okay with that.
Prevent a lot. But Guy, that would prevent a lot, right? Because then
it would.
Use the offsides, then you don't need the coach using up a challenge on an obvious goal.
First of all, here's okay. So here's my 5. I think I have 5. I may have 4 right now. One I got to work on. So number 1 is goaltender interference. It's not defined. We see it called differently. Game in, game out. We never know what it is, right? Offsides, and up until that issue, offsides wasn't a big of an issue. I mean, we kind of understood what offsides was, but when they brought delayed offsides into it, in all actuality, all offsides are delayed offsides, right? So how many times have I seen them look at the puck cross the line, nobody stick on it, and then look at the other player and go, oh, he's across the line, so that's an offsides. I've seen that consistently. Consistently, I've seen that. But in all actuality, it's still a delayed offsides until the stick touches the puck. But I've seen it called back. So that is an issue. My number 5 one is, and you see it a lot, and it doesn't get talked about, but it's puck directly off the referee. Right? And the problem with this is the word directly. What does that word actually mean? To me, a puck directly off the referee means the puck touches the referee, goes to the next guy, and he scores. Right? That the ref set up, if the ref set up the goal, it shouldn't count. Right? Okay, it's not to me.
Nope.
We're talking about your cat.
So for me, that's another one. And then another issue I have is rules that need to be fixed is the cross-check, roughing, and defining what a penalty is much better. Overall, the rule book overall, you need to define. Who are you talking about? Define what a penalty is. Define what tripping is. So whatever is tripping on game one, is tripping in game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Right? The penalties get called differently as the season moves on. And what it is. There was one in this game. It was after the whistle. It was an absolute trip. Somebody on Edmonton, I think Drysdale, pulled McKinnon's skates right out from under him. Absolute trip. Wasn't called. Why? It was after the whistle. Right? But it was a trip. You know, there's too many intricacies of the rule book that we use, and that's what they did here. What is kicking? What is a distinct kicking motion?
Well,
I heard the best explanation of this a couple of years back, or it might have been last year. When we originally wrote that, I was one of the refs that was part of the rule. Distinct kicking motion. When you see that, think of a field goal kicker. That's a distinct kicking motion.
Well, let me ask you a question. What's making the bigger what's making the bigger problem in the game? Is it the fact that there is plays not being called that you're like, okay, that's a penalty?
It's both. Or is it
a play that is, or is it a play like, for example, a slashing or a more physical play that you'd rather be more careful? Meaning, because you have players getting hurt, let's say on a play, and they go, excuse me, where was that tripping? That's more important than, we saw a distinct kicking motion. I mean, on the goal. I mean, when you're changing up that many rules, they're not changing up like 10 rules in a year. They're not doing that.
It's not even that I feel like the rules need to be changed per se. It just needs to be called more consistently. They have to come up with a plan
It has to be amended
to make it consistent.
Right. They need, if you're going to, I'm sorry, in this digital age, right? You put out your rule book digitally. Now, you may send a rule book to the refs, but you have a digital rule book. So why not in that digital rule book? Oilers are done. It's now 4-0. In that digital rule book, have exacting examples of what is and is not a penalty. This is kicking, a distinct kicking motion. This is not. Right? Turning your skate so the puck deflects and goes into the net is not a distinct kicking motion. Sliding your skate, to go through in the act, to me, distinct kicking motion is something that is not in the act of skating. Right? Not in the act of skating. So if you take your foot and you go like this towards the puck, that's a distinct kicking motion. If you're in the act of skating, then it is not a distinct kicking motion. And even if you're in the act of skating and you slide, and angle it, if it's a dead puck, I get it. But in that case, that was not a distinct kicking motion, and that goal should have counted.
Just for people not watching the game, I know you mentioned it's 4-0.
Yeah.
We're talking about it like a 4-0 in which the Oilers look so bad.
They don't look bad. They've just had.
They couldn't get that. Come on, they had the puck. The guy instead tried to play the puck out of the zone instead of just hitting it out of the zone. Come on, when he was at the top there, he just stood there trying to play around him.
It's the second period. In the second period, when the goals started going in and all that Makar stuff, yeah, they lost it. They lost their footing. That is the one. Or not Makar, Kadri. That is the one thing with Kadri.
18 goals since the start of the playoffs, man.
Right, that is the one thing with Kadri that he does do very well. He gets into the head of his opponents. Right? And that's what actually, before you came on, that's exactly what I was talking about when Ashley first came on.
Did you? Okay, I don't know if you remember this. I have to find you the actual quote. You know that McDavid said 3 years ago, if they don't clean it up within 3 years, that he's requesting a trade?
Say again?
Connor McDavid 3 years ago said that if they don't fix up their team, that within 3 years he's going to request a trade.
I think he needs to request a trade now, not in 3 years. Now, right? But
this would be the 3 years. This is the last year of that 3 years.
Oh, this is? Yeah. Then it's time for him. I think he should. I think that they should, because at a $10 million player, you can get 3 or 4, because you got to get money for money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you can pull.
Yeah, I mean, like you talk about all these players and adding them to a team. While you look at a team like the Rangers, who didn't even need to add a Connor McDavid, they added themselves, 3 players who, if you look at especially last night's game, I mean, the players they added, you look at the way they played specifically last night. I mentioned this to I forgot who it was, like Ashley on Twitter. Ashley Jones. I forgot. She has like this hockey thing.
That's me.
That's her.
No, not you. Someone else. I don't know if I mentioned this to you or to someone else. I forgot who it was. Anyway, I was mentioning the fact that the way they played last night was exactly how you're supposed to beat the Lightning.
Was it at No One Can Hear You?
No, I could hear you.
No,
no, it's fine. It was somebody.
No, it wasn't at you. It wasn't you. Anyways, I mentioned to someone on Twitter that this is exactly the way you beat them. And the question is if they could beat them 3 more games like this. And that person said no. that they don't think it's possible. I'm not even discussing 6-2. But what do you think is the way these Rangers could actually get those 3 wins? Do you continue with this, or is there things that you think need to change? That the Rangers can do even better?
I think that they played a very smart game.
I
Go ahead,
agree
Ash.
that they played a very smart game, but what they need to be mindful of is that Tampa's going to come back with adjustments, and they have to be able to quickly adjust to those adjustments. If they can pull that off, then this will be a shorter series than anyone's anticipating.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, like the fact that they were able to put 6 goals up on Vasilevsky, I don't know if you believe in this, but I believe goalies, no matter how much time that they have off, especially a goalie like Vasilevsky, will never give up 6 goals. 6 goals. Okay, and the fact that he gave up 6 goals, I'm a little bit
did
like...
he even get one? Wasn't one of them an empty netter?
One's an empty netter, so let's go 5 goals on him. I mean, that's just
That's
ridiculous.
insane.
Well,
I don't even know why.
Here's the
how
thing.
that's possible.
Again, see, this is what I was trying to get at a little bit earlier about not having you say he gave up the 6 goals, and Ashley gets on 5 goals. Ashley gets on me about this all the time. Not all goals are the goalie's fault.
Right. So actually, I sent this to playoff Rachel at Rachel NHL. She was talking about the keys to the game, and she and this is what I mentioned to her. But Guy, what were you saying?
That not every goal is to get on the goalie. A lot of those, I put maybe one of those on Vasilevsky for not being in a good spot.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there because I think it's more than one, and I'll tell you why. Okay, number 1, the Hedl goal. Okay, the first Hedl. I'm talking about the Hedl goal where they kept it in the zone where they call it the shift.
Yeah.
Did you notice that they beat them to the puck a million times? Now, that could be something that I will say is that may not be on Vasilevsky's head, so I'll take that one out. The second, the Zibanejad goal on the power play in the thing, that's all Vasilevsky's fault. You got to see that puck. But there was a great screen on that play. But Vasilevsky's better than that. And as well as Panarin's goal, that's also on his head. That was against a player, especially was really he looked good last night. But there was a lot of plays where I think like it wasn't just that Vasilevsky was having a hard time maybe with this specific game. I think it was the fact that the Rangers completely destroyed the defense of the Lightning, and the amount of chances that they were getting were not the amount that the Lightning expected.
I think the Lightning came in and took the Rangers way too lightly. I really do. I think they came in and took them absolutely way too lightly. And that had a lot to do with it.
Why is that? Why would you think like a team like the Lightning who has a million years, so-called, a million games of experience, while this team has 0 experience in the playoffs? How could they look at a Lightning team that beat the Hurricanes, a team that had a better record than them, a team that was a harder team to beat than them in a sense, where the Lightning are known as the playoff, people.
Because in all actuality, when you look at this playoffs, I know the Rangers are a 2 seed. But how many people gave the Rangers a chance to even be here? Right? The Rangers were not considered a team to be here. A lot of this is they've made it to the round, but it's like, oh well, now the fists are flying. And Nurse, the guy that's hurting and not playing good is now throwing fists. They made it to a round that they shouldn't have. They're just said, oh, they made it here, but they really shouldn't be here. They're not looking at the.
I just turned off the game.
The Rangers has a number 2 seed. They're looking at the Rangers as a team that barely got into the playoffs. Right. But, now, when I did, I wrote an article. I wrote an article for Full Press Hockey. I don't know. You probably haven't seen it, but I ranked, and I did it about a month and a half, 2 months to go in the season. Right.
I'll go look back at it.
It's on Full Press Hockey. It's fullpresshockey.com, and the article is my top 10 teams to win. Ranking the Stanley Cup contenders. I had the Rangers and the Penguins 9th and 10th. Right. Because I felt, okay, here's 2 teams that they're going to be in that 2-3 spot, but neither one of them is going to get past the Hurricanes. I completely felt like that. And in all actuality, I don't think the Rangers should have gotten past the Hurricanes. But they did. And if you look at, and I had the Lightning third. I had the Lightning third, right?
Right.
I had Colorado 1, Florida 2nd, Lightning 3rd, Blues 4th, and I think I had Toronto 5th. Right?
Well, Toronto's gonna. Oof. Okay, we're not gonna even talk about that. Please don't bring up Toronto.
No, Toronto's got to get rid of some salary to
They
change
need
things.
CPR. They need CPR.
There is so something that came up today, and maybe you guys can help talk about this. This is a Blues related topic. Lance Scott, who I asked to be here, but he's not feeling well, was arguing with people, including myself, about Tarasenko not being with the Blues throughout the season. He thinks that the Blues are A, going to trade him, and B, not even attempt to re-sign him. Well, I don't agree with that. And one of the reasons I don't agree with that is when you look at the core of this team, right? The overall core of this team, close. The core of this team, it's not the core that needs anything. The core doesn't need anything. It's the pieces around it. And you can, some of those pieces are just like, I think the one player that the Blues need more than anybody else, and I'm going to get so much shit for this, is a Kadri or Maroon type player.
No.
Well, I said type, not
No.
them, but type. We need that toughness.
No.
The Blues need that toughness.
One second. I think I'm going to let Ashley go for this because I think we're thinking the same thing. Ashley, you take this one because I think we're thinking the same exact thing.
Okay, we do not have to be a physical team. We need to embrace our speed. If we embrace the speed, we won't need that physicality.
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. We have speed right now. Will more speed help us? Or would because
we don't even need any more speed though, Guy. We don't even need any more speed. We need to embrace it and harness it. We have younger guys that are waiting in the wings that are NHL ready coming up. Look at Neighbors. He'll be here next year.
No, he will not. Neighbors will not.
I disagree. Neighbors, okay, first of all, Neighbors may not be there right away. I agree. But second half of the season, he's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know. I think Torpachenko, hold on. I think Torpachenko gave them a security blanket that they didn't think they had.
I won't disagree with that. I like Torpachenko, but he is already there. Like, we're not going to re-sign Bozak. He's going to have a spot.
You're not going to re-sign Bozak, but you have Kostin. You have Kostin.
Kostin ain't coming up. Kostin should have proved himself already. He's going to stay in the AHL, or he's going to be a trade bait.
Okay.
I don't think they want to trade. Now, this is the one thing I agree with Lance on. He's still young enough. He's only 21 or 22. He's still young enough that you don't cut bait on him.
Okay, let's instead of looking at rookies for a moment, okay? Because you look rookies, you can't define because a lot of rookies and a lot of people in the minor, you know, in the system, you can't really decide because a guy could come to the season and be hot, a guy that you can't even name in that on the team there, and he could come in and make a difference. So I think that's something you can't depend on and discuss. That's something you needed during the season to discuss because before the season, you can't say, oh, there's a guy in the minors. I think he looks good. Let's just go with him because you're going to look at these players while they're playing in the minors. Even the Rangers bringing Lafreniere and some of these players into the lineup and putting them, they didn't put them right away in that second line. Okay. They were sitting on the third line.
Hold on. I got to stop you there for a second. And I see where you're going, but I've got to say, because I know that you don't follow. No. I say this because I know you don't follow the Blues minor league team. But a lot of the guys on that minor league team are no longer rookies, and they are guys that are waiting for their chance to come up. And the Blues only have 2, if not 3 spots to fill this season. They only have 4 UFAs, and I know one of them is going. They are not going to re-sign the goalie, and I just went.
What would you guys think? What would you guys think of going after someone like Chikrin?
I didn't like that idea whatsoever.
You didn't like it.
Nope.
I remember I don't know about that.
I mean, honestly, I like our defense. I really do. Especially now that I had to deal without Scandella for a while, and I had a real bad hatred of Scandella. Did not like him. Then we went without him, and then I realized, hey, maybe I actually like Scandella after all.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of young defensemen that give them another year or so, they're going to be ready. Come the back half of the season, like Mikkola was phenomenal in the playoffs.
Yeah, Mikkola is a number. Mikkola has made himself a number 2 or 3.
I think you just put up on the thing. Something I was just about to talk about Tarasenko. I think he's got to go simply because I think you need to refresh at that point.
Okay, first off, let me stop you because Guy, like I said, he has a love affair with Maroon, but he has got a man crush on Tarasenko. So if you say anything about getting rid of Tarasenko, he's gonna blow up.
I'm not even talking
about
Guy. I am not talking about you must get rid of him. I am not even talking about that he's the problem. I'm talking about where possibly you could get back a lot of value, and I'm going to give you a team name from the New York Islanders.
Here's my issue with that. No, I understand that. I understand that. I absolutely understand what you're talking about.
Man crush.
I get the value. My issue, and this is what I was trying to get at, it's not the core. Why get rid of the core when you don't have to? And
I'm
one
not
of the
saying
things
you have to. Oh, a second. I'm not saying you have to. I'm talking about where you have a team that could really take the next step because you have the young goalie in the most biggest point. I'm not talking about even giving up Vladdy, saying, "Oh, we don't think you're the problem." There's a point when you say in a team where you know what the value I could get back for a player that as good as he is, and he's my core, and he's someone I would want on my team, and he's someone that I would need. If I could get back 2, 3, maybe even 4 good players.
You know why you're not getting that back? Here's the problem. First of all, it's already been. First of all, he's got that no trade that he's. I know he originally gave them a list. He has rescinded that, and I looked in the CBA. I looked in the CBA. He has absolutely. He can go to a team and say, "Here are the 9 teams that I would accept the trade to." They can come back and say, "Okay, we've decided to trade you to this team," and a player can go, "You know what? I've changed my mind. I don't want to trade." And he has that right. He has the right to waive that trade clause up until he is traded. If the trade goes through and he decides not to, that's his right.
Right. But you realize I'm not even saying that this is the move. I'm not saying that this is something you have to do. Like if I was the Rangers, right? And I was in a situation where, you know what, we're making like the first, second round, we're looking good, we have a lot of talent going on, but I have a player on my team where he's not easily replaceable. But if I offer him to a team that's desperate for that star, and they're going to give me back 2 or 3 players where they may be good on them, but they're more value to me, and they would make my depth.
You're talking about the problem is the trade. If there is a trade that's going to happen, it will not happen until near the trade deadline. That's issue number 1. It's not going to happen in the offseason. I guarantee it.
No.
First of all, First of all, he's rescinded his trade request. So they cannot. By the CBA, go to him during the offseason and ask him if he would give him a list. They can't.
Why do you think he rescinded his trade request?
Because he was happy with Booch. The addition of that. He was happy with. Yeah.
More than that. It's more than Booch.
It's more than Booch. It's because they started using him the way he felt he could be used, and giving him an opportunity to prove that he was as good as he was.
And what happened?
He had a career year.
Okay, but then what happened? At the end of the year?
No, I don't think he had. You know what? I don't think he had as bad as playoffs as everybody says.
No, he didn't have that bad.
Right? Everyone thinks that he
had
didn't
a bad
show up.
Series.
He was there defensively in a lot more ways than you think. He has become a two-way player. But he's still offensive. He is a very good. He has gone from an absolute offensive player to a very good, if not Selke-worthy, two-way player.
Well, 2 things will help him out, and I think if they're keeping him and they're building around him, here's my point, and this is what I'm trying to say. Tarasenko is someone that if he was on my team, I want to build around him. I want to give him the chance. I am saying that I would think about it and see what value people are worth giving to me, I probably would not make the trade. But I'm talking about listening to hear if someone's going to overpay for him in the middle of the year if you see that your team is not doing well. But
I would listen.
One second. If I'm the Blues right now, I'm looking at low risk, high reward players. I want a player where I know I'm going to get value out of him, even if he's not the best player on the market, because you have a team that has a fantastic energy.
Yeah, and you don't need this team does not need much. First of all, Husso is gone.
That's why you need low risk. That's why you need low risk. Right?
Okay, well, let me finish.
You have a player that's not going to add a negative.
Because you have 2 to 3 goalies in your minor league system that are ready to play in the NHL right now. Right? Husso's gone. Bozak, I do not see Bozak being re-signed, even at league minimum. Sorry, I like the guy. I think it's time he retires.
Yeah.
Right? He's gone. So who do you bring up in his case? I think you bring up Costin.
Well, you also realize you're also having a couple of your young players that in the deeper lines are going to be doing even better. Robert Thomas, I think, is in his prime.
Thomas and Cairo both RFAs this year.
Right. Both are, and even Riley. Okay. And your top 2 lines are ridiculous, actually. Okay.
Top 3 are 3 lines.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I feel like the third line, as good as they are, they're not ridiculous. I'm talking about where your lines you could take the top 2 lines and put them and mix them up between 2 things and you're fine.
Absolutely. Well, Shin towards the end of the season, Shin had broken ribs most of the season. Can you imagine playing hockey with broken ribs?
Oh my gosh, man. By the way, I always mix him up with Brady Shea.
Right. So you look at who they've got now. Perron. I think Perron is signing this year. I think Perron. First of all, I talked about this even before Perron said it. This Perron. One of the things that a lot of people didn't understand about Pietrangelo when he signed with the Knights, Pietrangelo was looking for a family contract. His contract had very little to do about hockey. He had guys. He has 3 kids. He had triplets. They were pushing, I think, 3 years old, 2 years old, 3 years old. He had another baby right behind that. He's looking at getting his kids through school. He wants that family stability. That's what that contract was all about. That's what the no movement clause was all about. That family stability with toddlers, right? To get him through that toddlers, get them up into that. He signed an 8-year deal, get him at that 8, 9, 10-year-old range to where a move doesn't affect them as much, right? A 10-year-old kid can handle a move a lot better than a 5-year-old kid can. Or a 3-year-old or whatever. So that's what that was all about. Well, with Perron, I think it's the same thing. In his 30s, he's got kids that are in that 5, 6, 7-year-old range, right?
Right.
This is where I think it's time where he's looking, and he said it. And my family loves it here. I got my kids in school. I want them to stay in that school. He's not ready to retire, but he's not going anywhere else. So the Blues can leverage that. He made 4.5 this year, or 5, 2.5 for 3 years, right? With maybe some bonuses thrown in or something like that to take him to $3 million. I think he signs that contract. I really do. I know he can get more on the open market. It's not what's important. He is not going to get.
Some of the players look at what they can be offered on the market, and they come back and say, "Look, as much money as I'm going to get from there, none of these teams that are offering me that money are teams I'd want to go to. I'm just staying with whatever I got here."
But it's not. But you got to look at it's not just the money; it's the stability. Unless someone comes out there and offers him a 5 or a 6-year contract, that's stability. Okay. And we got to remember, he's been traded by the Blues twice. He's been traded.
What picks do you have coming up?
Everything but a second and a 7th.
You have what number pick do you have this year?
25th, I think, 24th or 25th.
Would you?
I was actually just looking at it the other day. Hold on.
Would you trade that for a solid piece?
Would I trade? No, actually, I would not.
What about next year's first?
Nope. Here's the thing. Look
They're
at
not a rebuilding team.
Hold on, bud. Give me just a second. We have the 23rd pick.
23rd.
And that's the area that we normally pick in, right? Okay. That's the area we've been picking in for a while, right? We have the 23rd pick, and I understand what you're saying, but for me, I'm looking at the core of this team: Shin, O'Reilly, Tereshchenko, Bushnevich, Krug, Falk, Pareko. Those are guys that are signed semi-long term, right? O'Reilly and I know a couple of them, like O'Reilly and Tereshchenko. Next year's their last year, but they can get bridge contracts. They can get contracts that they can renegotiate. Get what do you call it? Extensions. I'm lost here. They can get extensions. This is not a team that needs to rebuild or even retool. I don't think they need to retool. I think they just need to add minor pieces, right? That Bushnevich and Saad were good enough pieces that they're sitting right there, not part of the core. Both of them guys are now becoming part of the core. Let me ask you a
question. If you have to trade Riley or Tarasenko, who are you trading?
Ouch.
I had to put you there because I read up on an article of like just how hard the Blues off season is going to be, just with all these
this off season is not going to be hard. It's the one beyond that.
That's what I'm saying. That's something you want to sort of set yourself up that in 2 years you're sort of in a better situation. I mean, who would you let go, Riley or Tarasenko?
You know what?
You're gonna say Riley.
It would all depend. You know what it would come down to for me? Because I don't want to let either one of them go. If you say I have to let one of them go, to whoever gives me the biggest return.
That's why I am telling you that you don't let your captain go. You trade Tarasenko.
But hold on, O'Reilly could give you your bigger turn, and in all actuality, Tereshchenko is as much of a captain in that locker room as O'Reilly is.
But you don't exactly want to take a team that right now. I mean,
see, my guys know. Right? I tell you, I got to say something real quick, Shaggy. I have some really, really smart, really knowledgeable fans, right? The guys that follow this show. Oh, you know what, Redbeard? Shaggy's gonna get pissed at me. You can suck my big fight wet wiener. Okay? The only reason that we're out is because your team cheats. Your team goes out to injure players. Next year, the Blues are going to take the Avalanche out. In fact, I'll say it right now. The Blues are going to win the division next year. Absolutely. And you know what? Yes, my hate, and this guy made a comment on my stuff where he said, my hate for the Avs is comical. No problem. There's your comic. There's your comedy there, Redbeard. I'm sorry. I have an issue with Avs fans because the majority of them couldn't tell you who was on the Avs 3 years ago because they just started watching the game.
Well, I can't say... I can't say like I believe the Blues are going to win the division, but just remember that I can't say no because they had 109 points. They went 49-22, okay, and 11. And a team like the Wild, a team like the Stars and Predators, as good as they are,
the Wild are going backwards. The Wild are going backwards.
The Avalanche, I feel like at a certain point are going to go somewhat lower. The Stars are somewhat old, as young as they are. They're not there yet. Predators are going to have a huge offseason, and I don't know what's going to be with that team. Jets, Blackhawks, and Coyotes are never going to be good. Right. That division is very easily winnable. I'm sorry. I gotta love Avs fans, right? You have stunk for years and years and years and years, and now all of a sudden you're good. So, oh my God, you're the greatest team that ever existed. Okay,
you're bandwagon fans.
If we're doing Avs hate here, okay, every year. If we're doing Avs hating over here, last year when the Avs were in the playoffs, every one of my friends were like, "Yo, Avs, they got this," and I went, "No." They don't got nothing. And one of the reasons why is, okay, the playoffs are a thing where one team gets hot, one team is feeling it. Look at the Rangers right now. I can't say that the Rangers ever played this good the entire season. They didn't.
I will take.
Honestly,
Hold on.
really,
I will
didn't.
take. I will take my 1 cup over a team that's ours instead of 10 cups from a team I had to steal. You had to steal your team, Avalanche. You had a team and you lost them. That's how bad of fans you are. The Colorado Rockies were your team. You lost them. They went away. You had to go steal another one from Quebec. So that first cup, they were all Quebec Nordiques. Nobody on that team was brand new. So I'm sorry. I have you want my hate? There's my hate, bud.
Well,
right.
Well,
and Shaggy, I apologize to you as a guest for me being slightly unprofessional.
Guys, whoa. I'm going to cut off your apology because I think this is how hockey talk has to be. Because if you talk like when baseball, like Yankees, Mets arguments, I always say are just baby arguments because for years the Mets suck. We know it's obvious. And if you discuss most, like, hockey is meant to be the sport that is, this type of thing where it's physical. There's a lot of activity going on. And honestly, between you and me, every year, there's always a team that surprises everyone. Every year. Yeah. There's never a year where it's like obvious. Okay. Now, another thing that is in hockey that is in no other sport is that a coach can make, I feel like every coach decision in hockey makes a bigger effect than in any sport. A coach could simply make one line and it will make a difference in the rest of your season.
Well, hey, first of all, Redbeard, I got to say thank you. I really do. Because, I'm going off on you and you're saying you enjoy the show and I appreciate that.
That's why he enjoys the show.
More than likely.
He's got a good argument with you, and I'm not gonna take his side, but he is right now ahead in the playoffs, so he's feeling good. You know what I mean? So just give him time till like the Oilers watch them go up 3-1, then blow it to the Oilers or something like that, and then you could get him. All right.
Hold on. You were not that season. You were not getting past the Blues in 19.
Oh no.
You were not getting past the Blues in 19. I don't care what would have happened with that offsides call. In fact, I think the Blues would have swept Colorado in 19. That's how good they were in the Western Conference Finals.
Their team in 19 was so good that I was in Europe at that time. Yeah. And I'm not even a Blues or a Predators fan for that cup. Okay? And I watched almost every game, staying up at 2 a.m. or something like that to watch the game because I'm.
I know. I used to be stationed in Japan and had to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I was going so nuts about the Blues of how they were playing. We were huge Blues fans right at that point because we hated the Predators and everything, and we were just going off on them. Oh my gosh, it was just so much fun to watch. That was ridiculous.
What the Blues were doing. So first of all, when the Blues for me. How you knew the Blues were going to win that cup was Game 7 of the second round.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, that was so. I know he can't. I want to leave that comment up a little more so he can read it because he can't cross comment. We can see it. He can't. There he goes on McDavid now. I love it, but you go and you look at what they did when they won that game. Something changed in that team because when they went in to the conference finals next, they were absolutely. I mean, even though they lost the first game, but after that, you could tell they changed. And that hand pass set it up perfectly, right? They were not. They were. I'm sorry. They were not going to the finals. They were not going to the finals. I don't care who would have put in front of them. You could have put. You could have put the Knights in front of them. You could have put the Avalanche in front of them. The Sharks, anybody. You could have put anybody in front of them, and they were going to the next round.
Not that to stop you for a second about the Blues. I just wanted to have. I really want to scream about this because I'm pissed off at this, and I'm hope your fans forgive me for this. But somebody was robbed today, and I think someone needs to give away their award. Why in the world does the
I'm gonna
Flames coach get it over a team like the Rangers, who aren't even meant to make the excuse me, Gerard Gallant, the
actually,
guy in the
no.
first
I
year.
gotta go back. I gotta stop you here. I agree with this. I agree with Sutter getting in, and let me explain here. First of all, at the beginning of the season, we talked about on my show, we talked about the Pacific Division. And we basically felt that the Pacific Division was one team. It was the Knights and then everybody else. And the teams that were in second and third, they were going to be nobody. We did not see anybody we didn't see the Oilers. We didn't see Calgary. We didn't see Vancouver. We didn't. In fact, a lot of people, and not me, but a lot of people had Seattle making the playoffs, thinking that Seattle did what Vegas did when they did the exact opposite. What he did with Calgary was take them from almost the very beginning and give them a belief in the system that as long as you believe in the system's going to work for you. And even when it looked like the system wasn't working, he didn't change it. He kept with it. I'm sorry, the Rangers were in a playoff spot almost the entire season.
Yeah, but they weren't. They weren't even meant to be. They weren't even meant to be a team. They were meant to be an average team that might make the playoffs because they might sneak in the last spot. They were meant to be worse. Let me explain to you something. They were meant to be worse. They were meant to be worse than the Penguins. They were meant to be worse than the Lightning. They were meant to be worse than half the other teams. They even had a chance to take the Metropolitan at one point and beat the Hurricanes. Okay, which, in my opinion, I just feel like Gallant was disrespected throughout the season, where people felt that because there were teams out there facing better teams than the Rangers were facing, that the Rangers just don't deserve it. I think, honestly, people do not believe that this Ranger team's a surprise. And while if you went back to the beginning of the season, every team would have said if the Rangers were in the third round against the Lightning, up 1-0.
Actually, see, Gallant wouldn't have been, if I couldn't have chosen, like if I had a vote,
Sutter.
Right? If I couldn't have chosen Sutter, I don't think Gallant would have been one of my top three.
He was the top. He was the third one, top third.
Okay, but I don't think he would have been in my top three, right? My number one would have been Bruce Boudreau, right? I get that he didn't make the playoffs, but he didn't need to. He took a team that was in almost last place and got them into the playoff race right down to the very end. He absolutely changed that team.
Your voting went Sutter, Brunette, Gallant, Evison, Bednar, McLellan, Brindamore, Sullivan, Hines, Cooper, Keefe, Boudreau, and then everyone else.
Yeah. See, my number one would have been Boudreau, right? Because I'm sorry.
He was 12th, though.
Huh?
He was 12th.
Oh, I'm not saying. I'm saying I know where he was voted, but this is if I had a vote. Media members had a vote. So if I was a dedicated media member and was able to vote, and it was the network media, the TV media is the ones that voted on this, not the pro hockey writers, TV media. So guys like NHL, guys from NHL.com got to vote on it. Guys like that. Mike Zeisberger, he got to vote. Guys like that. For me, what Boudreau did in Vancouver was more impressive than what other coaches did. Boudreau would have been my number one. My number two, I think, would have gone to, and I can't think of his name. I think it was Everson from the Wild, right? The Wild were supposed to take a step back, and the fact that they ended up second in that tough-ass division, in the best division in hockey, meant something to me, right? And then my number three, and I know this might be homerish, but my number three would have been, oh man, I went completely blank. Berube, because you look at what Berube did, they took a huge step forward. Now, yes, I know they ended up in third in the division, and a lot of people had them pick second or higher, but what they did was, I'm sorry, you look at that season, and he changed his style of coaching. He changed his style. That's coach of the year to me. When a coach changes his style to adjust to the players he has, that's what a coach of the year is. Not a guy who takes a team and says, this is my way or the highway, follow it and we'll do good, which is what Sutter did. I like Boudreaux coming into a dumpster fire and saying, you know what, guys, you're not as bad as you think. Let's turn this around. And then Everson with Minnesota, everybody thought after they did the buyouts and all this stuff that they were going to take a crap in the bed, and he was able to maintain some of this. He maintained, and they still jumped up in points. I know you don't like Berube. I get it, but he changed his style. He started using speed. He was forced to, but once he realized they could work, he started using speed. He started working things out. And there's one thing that when we talk about Blues hockey that hasn't been talked about as far as next season, there's one X factor / question mark that to me solidifies what I would do with the Blues. Bennington.
And that,
Bennington. And the reason I say that is what happened to him in the playoffs, the way he recovered from it, the way he talked about it at the thing, the way he recovered from COVID. I think he had issues with COVID and they affected him, but he got away. And one of the things that he did, he got away from being worried about. So Husso is a very, very, very strong technical goalie. Very technical. There's no improv in his game, right? They tried to make Bennington technical, and Bennington's not a technical goalie. I've had 2 different goalie coaches tell me that. He is one of those improvisational goalies. He's one of those goalies that when he's loose, when he's kind of feeling things, when he's seeing things, he can make the saves you're not supposed to make. And that's what I like. I think the people that had Winnipeg and Chicago ahead of us had no clue what they were talking about, because I didn't have Chicago or Winnipeg ahead of us.
Something. By the way, Redbeard's like,
no problem.
At least we can all agree how hilarious it is to watch the Knights flub it and piss away every.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
I'm not sure if people realize, but this, by the way, as funny as it may be, the Knights actually got into a huge cat problem this year.
Oh yeah, they're in big trouble.
And I think that's something that they fell asleep on a little bit. Yeah. And they were just trying to make too big of a move for Eichel. So as much as and also, by the way, as much as a problem they had, they also had players really underachieving, and it was ridiculous. I think firing Gerard Gallant was one of the stupidest moves they ever did. He brought them so far, and the fact that they fired him, there's no point. Like I always said, when you have a team and you fire someone or you kick someone off the team, you have to realize the effect that it has on not just the on the team that he goes to.
I'm with you. I'm with you. No, they're in trouble. They're in a lot of trouble. Their fans now are going to learn what it's like to lose. Absolutely learn what it's like to lose.
They may not lose next year because they have a lot of talent on that team, but we'll see.
Yeah,
100%. The question is how do we give him some scoring?
How do
we help him out? Because we know you guys. We know the Blues have goalies. The question is what you do else. You know what I mean?
I say this: you let Husso walk, right? You got it. You know
you have no problem with Lindgren as a backup.
You have Hoffer or Lindgren? Hoffer's 21. Lindgren went. I'm sorry. I've been looking at Lindgren a lot more. I looked at those 5. I rewatched those 5 wins, right? I think while they weren't worth top end teams, he plays somewhat like Bennington does, where he started. You could see him get out of that. Like he played really loose in those 5 games. And when you look at what he played when he was in Montreal, he wasn't given a chance. He was behind Carey Price. He was up and down. And if you're not given that chance, I don't know if I don't know. I just think that you could bring Lindgren in. I think you bring Lindgren in for the first half of the year, and if he does it for you, great. If he doesn't, you bring Hoffer up and you cut Lindgren loose. Lindgren's a UFA. You can get him for league minimum on a 2-way, right? You can get him for league minimum on a 2-way, right? He did have a good year, and he was one of the top goalies in the AHL also, right? What is Eichel through? It seems like a dude all about himself
No,
over
he'll
the
be
team.
fine. He'll be
Yeah,
fine.
well, it's not just him. They've got a lot of guys like that on. Basically, you look at what Pietrangelo did. Pietrangelo's contract screwed that team over, right? So that's where I'm at.
He had a good year in a sense when he was healthy.
Right.
So if people don't realize, the biggest problem with the Golden Knights was, number one, that they let Fleury go. Okay.
Yeah.
When they had Fleury, they were ridiculous, but they decided, no, we want to trade for Eichel. We want to make these moves. They made
Robin Lanier needs a goalie like Fleury with him.
Well, Fleury's, by the way, a free agent. So my crazy prediction is that Golden Knights sign him back.
Nope. Can't. You know what? I'll guarantee you the way I watched.
Where do you think Fleury goes?
I actually think he might retire. Right?
I don't think he retired.
I watched that. So I was on the press conference that he did in Chicago after he signed. Right? I watched it live with the press. I can tell you from that press conference, and not a lot of it got out, he was not happy with the way he found out he was traded and how he was traded. He was not happy with it.
But he probably thought to himself when he was taken by the Golden Knights to be the goalie that, I'm honored. Like, this is the team. You're giving me a team, right? Yeah. And he needed that, and they took that away from him. The Golden Knights, in my opinion, are one of the biggest disappointments this year in general, because they were a team that was meant to that with how good they looked 2 years ago, that they just fell off the market. In fact, I could tell you that next year they're going to have to be very careful with their moves before their owner starts stepping in.
Yep. I agree with you. No, I absolutely agree with you.
Now let me ask you a question, because it's your division, not mine.
Yeah,
Philip Forsberg, what do you think happens with him?
He's going somewhere else.
Yeah, he's not staying?
I think he goes somewhere else. And I also think the guy from Minnesota.
Fiala's also going to leave your division.
Fiala's going to.
Fiala and Forsberg are going to leave your division. You're going to be left with a very weak division.
We're going to go from the toughest division to one of the weakest divisions. Yeah. However, I don't think that Forsberg leaves the division.
Ooh, who do you think he goes to?
I think he's going to try and go to the Avs.
I don't think so. You know
why?
I
think the Avs are going to. I think the Avs are going to cut. Kadri, this is Kadri's last year on his contract, right? I think the Avs are going to cut bait with him.
You know what? If I am taking a team, this is going to be a stupid call, but I'm saying it anyways. If I'm taking a team that he stays in the division for, because I honestly think he's going to leave the division, because there are teams out there like the Canadians who could just use another player who will just go all out for.
He's ring chasing. Forsberg is ring chasing.
He's ring chasing. Looking,
that has a lot to do with it.
Who's a team that has a player that's almost done with the league that could really use a star?
Who's what?
Who's a team in your division?
Yeah.
Who's got a player on the team that that's almost done his career, but is good enough. What?
Chicago's got two of them.
No, not Chicago. Patrick Kane's coming to the Rangers. We know that already.
No, I think that I actually think Chicago needs to cut bait with both of them.
No. Don't worry. They're going to trade Patrick Kane to the Rangers, and the Rangers will gladly give them whoever they want, because they'll take Patrick Kane to have with Panarin, because Panarin needs his buddy. I think Forsberg goes to go to the Stars.
I don't, because I think the Stars are taking a huge step back. Their goaltending situation is not even close.
Ottinger looked pretty good.
Huh?
Ottinger looked pretty good.
Yeah, but that was. And didn't get you out of the first round. There's a lot of
goalies on the market.
Forsberg's not going to Philly or Detroit. He is ring chasing. Forsberg is ring chasing, and that's why I think that you guys can afford him, because he's ring chasing. Well, he's going to take a discount to get a ring.
Well, the Rangers are not going to go after any big players, because I know how they're.
I don't think the Blues. I don't think the Blues do either. I don't think the Blues need to.
So the question is, a guy like Philip Forsberg, does he land up with a team like the Maple Leafs or Bruins, like one of these big markets?
Maple Leafs are in cap hell. Maple Leafs would have to trade
Bruins?
either Tavares, Marner or
But
Matthews,
they could trade a guy like Tavares.
they're not trading Tavares
for them.
It's good for them, but I don't think they see that. Not with St. Louis there. Not with St. Louis there.
St. Louis is with the Canadians.
Huh?
St. Louis with the Canadians.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. How do you call it? No. You got the wrong guy. But if St. Louis was on the Maple Leafs, they would have won the cup.
But what I mean is a coach. Well, what I'm looking at the coach. The way the coach they have there, he's going to change. He's going to change up some things.
I can see him get fired.
I don't. I'll tell you what. Here's the issue they have. They've got the next Brett Hull on that team. They don't know how to use him.
He needs to go to. Honestly, he needs to go to a team that has an old, serious coach who's gonna play him the way and say, "Yo, this is how Philip Forsberg plays his game. We got to play around him." In a sense, he needs to go to a line where he's going to be given the puck a lot. I don't know. Yeah, okay. If Forsberg is ring chasing, St. Louis doesn't have the money to go after him.
Yeah.
They don't have.
Well, we got 10 million, but we're going to have to probably put four. We probably only got about 3 million. I think we're only going to have about 3 million when all said and done.
You guys are going to sign a couple of depth players that you think are going to be that are just going to take over Nick Leddy and what's his name and Borzak.
I think Leddy may stay.
No. Leddy may stay, but again, you're not paying Leddy more than $1 million, maybe.
No, I think. Well, Leddy, we paid 2.5, and he got the other 2.5 from Detroit.
And his value's going down.
But I think Leddy is also ring chasing. This is, I think.
But ring chasing, as much as it is, you guys got Nick Leddy, and he's been pretty good. But again, he's not a player that is exactly some big teams are gonna look after him.
I don't know. I think we can get Leddy. I think we can get Leddy for right around 2.5 or 3 million.
Look, I'll pay him $50 to play with me hockey.
Say again?
I'll pay him $50. He could come and play with me hockey. He'll come. He'll come join. Are you kidding me? Some of these players out there, I'm like, I used to reach in high school. Do you know? I was in I played like I was in camp. We had like a league, so we played like different sports in the league, and one of them we played hockey once. And guys decided that they can't play hockey against our team because when they played against our team, Shragi was hitting everyone. And it was just a crazy game. And they said they can't play hockey against us.
I got a question for you. I put it on my Twitter, on my my Hawaii Twitter. Do you think Daryl Sutter looks like the puppet from the Spectrum commercials?
Oh.
Go look at my Twitter, the Hawaii STL Blues fan. Bring it up and scroll down through it a little bit. You'll see a picture I put up on there. I think he looks absolutely like the puppet on the new Spectrum Evil commercials.
Let me see it.
You see it?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Oh my gosh. Am
I right?
That is. Oh my gosh, that is right.
Here, I'm going to try and bring it up so everybody can see it.
I got it. If you want, I got it.
No, it's easier for me to share it. I don't know. Maybe you can try and share it, and then I can put it up. See if you pull it up quicker than me.
Here.
Got it?
I think I got it. I don't know if it's on the screen, though.
No, not yet. I have to put it there. Okay, I did that wrong.
That was you or me?
No, that's actually no. See, I got it. Let me do it because when I share a screen, I don't share the screen. I share the tab itself.
Oh, I know how to. No. There's another way to do this. By the way, there's another way to do this.
Well, with StreamYard, usually the tab is the easiest one.
No, but I have a different way of doing this.
There we go. There we go. So that's what I got. Let me. I can do one more thing. There you go. Make it a little bit better. So that is Daryl Sutter and the puppet from the Spectrum commercials. The evil puppet man. I think they look exactly alike. Got the same mouth, the same jawline.
Yeah, I'll show you something, by the way. I think there's a way. I'm gonna
He
try
says
this.
Shangy's wild. You probably have shopping cart road rage.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You cannot. My wife has to sometimes relax me when we go shopping because I'm like running all over the place. I have the greatest time. Oh my gosh. I can't
Right?
find it. I was trying something, but it didn't work. Okay.
Oh, the dry eye guys. I like that too. The dry eye guy. Yeah, no, for me, it's the puppet man. It's the puppet man. He looks so much like that.
Oh my gosh.
So, hey, Shaggy, man, I got to thank you, man. You've come on our show a couple of times now, and you've been a wonderful guest. Thank you so much, bud.
My pleasure. You know what? I'll tell you, like I have my podcast and we do our Ranger things and
Yeah.
and like I'm really as much of a Ranger. I'm like been a Ranger like guy my whole life, but when I get now, like I get more and more into it. I started watching all these other games and I see it in a different view because I started really watching the games like a real getting to know the game even on another level. So I watch the game now and I look at the contracts and I look at the teams and what they could do and moves and it's like another world. So being able to come on here is like really fun because I get to scream at you the whole time and you're not my co-host.
Yeah, well, you know what? But you know, the offer's always there. You know, and not only that, if you know you ever need me to come on to talk about Bushnevich.
Oh man, that's the one conversation you want to go to. I think there's some other ones I would have. Like, can we offer you Hayek for anything?
Who?
Hayek, exactly. There's this guy in the Ranger, Libor Hayek. They signed him for a terrible contract, and he's done nothing but terrible this year. So I'm looking actually around if someone has a gun.
I'll trade you Shigerskin for Huso.
You want Shesterkin for Huso?
Yeah.
I'll give you Georgiev for Binnington. No. You know what?
Nope.
Honestly, if there was any other trade I'd make with you guys, I'd probably take. Ooh, this is a hard one, but I think I would give you guys Tarasenko for. You wouldn't take it because you don't want Tarasenko gone. I would give you Tarasenko for Kako.
Nope, not even close. You're not even close. You're not even on the same. But you're not even on the same level.
I'm trying to lay it out there like of a top 6. You know what? I'll give you Tarasenko for Kreider.
I would take if you told me I had to trade Tarasenko to the Rangers, I would want Panarin, Fox, 2 firsts and a second.
Well, the thing is that as good as you want Fox, I think honestly, like one of the things that makes him good is the fact that he's on a team and he's the number 1 guy. And he wouldn't be I don't think he'd be the number 1 guy in the Blues, right?
He'd be number 2.
He'd be number 2, and I think the part of that makes him.
But he could win that number. I think the way Parayko's playing, he could take that spot away from Parayko.
By the way, do you agree with me? I think Makar should be switched to a forward.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's not fair to put some of these guys as defensemen when they're actually forwards.
Oh, hey, Redbeard, you know what? I'm going to tell you something, okay? And I'm going to get in trouble. Right here, buddy. Right here.
Oh, man.
Right there, buddy. Right there. So there you go.
Oh,
you know what? I know it's not professional, but you know this is podcasting, and all that trying to be professional got me was 5 people viewing me. You know, it hasn't gotten me a press pass. It hasn't gotten me anywhere. So what the fuck? You know, if it's not going to get me anywhere, why not just be me and have fun? You know, that's going to get me viewers, not trying to impress somebody who doesn't even watch the show.
Man, I mean, you know what? Honestly, this is a good makeup for the playoffs from last year. This year's playoffs.
He says that was alarming.
Oh,
hey, you know what? You're gonna say something like that. Helm for Tarasenko. You know what? Believe it or not, there's very few guys there's actually no trade with the Avalanche that I would make for Tarasenko. None.
Makar and Kadri.
None.
Sorry, Makar and Kadri's attitude.
None.
Sorry,
there is
the water
no
bottle,
trade.
Binnington's water bottle for Makar.
I wouldn't trade anything. There's nothing on the Avalanche that I want. Nothing. I don't even want McKinnon. I don't even want McKinnon.
I think Redbeard had enough of bothering you. He's already up to me. He's already bashing Fox. Okay, get out of here.
Yeah. He's having fun.
All right.
Right. Well, you know what, guys? It was a great show. An hour and 40 minutes. I didn't think it was going to go 40. So, oh yeah,
Hey, look,
Condry would.
For all people, I'm going to do my only blues bash.
You know what I want to do with Condry?
Guy, I'm going to do my only blues bash of the day. He's a blues fan. That's why you thought he can only go 40.
Okay, go for it.
I said he's a blues fan. That's why you only thought it was going to go 40. He ain't played the same.
I just had a thought. You know what I want to do with Kadri? I want to take Kadri over to East St. Louis and leave him.
What I mean, just have him play against Ryan Reeves in the cup. Ryan Reeves will knock him out.
Just take him to East St. Louis and walk away. You know, I'm sure he'll find his way back sooner or later.
I think you'll find him with just his gloves. You'll find just
you
his
know
gloves
what?
and hat.
Yeah, we'll see. Thanks for letting my boy comment. I like that it can be family friendly. It can be. You know, maybe after hours a kid disclaimer. You know, we do our best. We do our best, and you know, we just try and have fun, and we, you know, try and be kid friendly to a point. But at the same time, this is an adult show. I put on it that it's not for kids. I do put that on YouTube, so that is what it is. Again, Bud, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you. Absolutely amazing time coming on, and you know, hopefully Shaggy for Ryan Reeves and Kadri experience.
Let's go. I'm for it. Let's just put him in a rink with the spotlight.
As much as I'm not a Ryan Reeves fan, and I'm not. Okay, Reeves to me, he's not a goon, but he's not a Pat Maroon. He's a step.
We got him because we got him because Tanner Glass retired.
Right, but the problem with
I like guys like him.
You know what, Redbeard, I will tell you this 100%. There is no freaking way I will ever say something nice about Kadri. There is nothing nice about the man. There's nothing nice about the way he acts on the ice. There's nothing, and I don't know him off the ice, but from what I've heard, he's not very good off the ice. There is no way in hell. In fact, I think Avs fans should absolutely be embarrassed how they've supported a guy that does what he does. I really do. Those stand with cause signs made me throw up. If you would have put stand against racism, I'd have been all for you. But to sit there and turn him into a mafia don, and that's exactly what you guys did. You made him a mafia don and praised him for all his shit. I wait till it's going to come down. I really do. Yeah, I say my show is by fans for the fans and about the fans. Guy curses at the fans, by the fans, for the damn fans. Oh my goodness. I think anybody that takes Kadri should be embarrassed with what he's done. I'll tell you what, after he hit Falk the way he did, I would have released his contract. I would have. That was so uncalled for, the way he hit Falk. Right? That was so uncalled for. Well, I'm going to call it a night, Shaggy, man. Again, thanks, bud.
Pleasure.
Right? And sorry I'm calling you Shaggy. It's like the easy form.
I don't mind. I really don't care. I told you I've been called 4-letter words before. I'm good with that.
Right? I love you coming on. You know, I put that in there to see if anybody would jump on, and you jumped on, and I appreciate it. Hopefully, you know, the guys will start coming on more, and you know, I got to write some more for you guys. I get issues with writing. I have something called Gershwin syndrome.
So I'm actually a very good writer. I just don't do any writing for them because I just don't enjoy the fact that I would have to follow. They have a whole system with WordPress and everything, and I just like to write and just do it. I like enjoyment writing, not writing for a business. So if you ever need help on writing something,
I want to answer this, Redbeard. If I did that, if he lifts that cup, if I'm live, I'm going to drop trowel and moon the fucker.
You're gonna piss in that cup.
I'm going to moon him because that's all he's worth. He can kiss my ass.
He won't lift the cup. They'll play the Rangers and lose. It's fine.
You know, what's sad is in my bracket, I picked the Avs to win this. Yeah. I mean, I did it strategically, but I also went game by game, or, you know, series by series. Right. When you go series by series, there's things that you come out with and going series by series. I just said, that's what I think it's going to be. Oh, if you see, I got to tell you something. They got a commercial out on, I don't know if it's NHL Network or ESPN, and I absolutely hate it. It's the passing the cup, right? Have you seen it?
Right.
Right. So they have Crosby passing the cup to shit, I can't think of his name now. Ovechkin. Right?
Right.
And then they have Ovechkin passing the cup to Stamkos. See an issue there?
Yeah.
That I'm sorry, that's a huge issue to me. I don't care that Petrangelo's no longer in the Blues uniform. Have him pass it to another guy that's in a Blues uniform now, like O'Reilly. But to have him pass it to skip over the Blues win completely is horseshit.
If Petrangelo wanted to come back to the Blues, would you accept that?
He'd have to change his contract.
No. That's if they pay off some of his contract.
Right? Say again?
If they would pay off some of his contract.
No, I mean he'd have to change his contract. I don't want that no movement clause.
You would want to reconstruct it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want the no movement clause. That no movement clause is enough for me.
That scares you.
Right?
All right, I got to make it a night, so.
Okay, man. Have a great night.
And,
guys, enjoy. Thank you. And yes, I can't stand the Avs, and I hate Kadri even more. Sorry, it has nothing to do with racial. It has to do with who he is as a player. He is a dirty, rotten, disgusting player who injures people and almost injures their career. I don't like any player like that. I lump him with Marchand and Wilson and who's the dirtbag the guy from the Devils, Slewfoot. Got two brothers in the league. Subban. PK Subban. Right? I lump him right in with that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I will never join you. I will never join you. I absolutely cannot stand the Avalanche, and I can't stand her bandwagon fan base. I remember prior to last season, right? And you really can't count last season because they didn't have, but prior to last season, you could get tickets to an Avs game for nothing. Most of the fans in the Avs games were from the other team. Right? The Avs, any Avs fan, the majority of the Avs fans there now are nothing but bandwagoners. Absolutely bandwagoners. Right? And I'm sorry, I don't think that Avs fans deserve anything. If you can't support your team during the low times, you don't just need to be there. Right? You guys weren't there, and after this is over, when you got to sell off a bunch of guys, you'll all be gone too. It'll be easy to get a ticket again. So, okay, that's it. I've had enough. I'm done arguing. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Guys, blood pressure beeping just went off, guys.
Yeah. No, well, I don't have. I don't think. Did you hear a beeping, or was that?
No. I was just saying the fact that you reached your limit. That's it.
No, because a lot of guys hear beeping, and I know it. I actually found my what do you call it? My fire and smoke detectors, but I don't think they're beeping. My hearing's really bad, but I don't think they're beeping. I don't think that's ever been me. So,
you went to too many Blues games,
right? What do you mean you weren't moved like the Rams? You were moved. You were moved from Quebec. You're not the Avalanche. You're the Nordiques. Don't forget that. You're the Nordiques. You're not the Avalanche. You're not even your home team. You're from somebody else. You had to take somebody else's team. So, okay, guys, have a great night, and I will talk to you later. This is Guy the Y Blues fan for Shaggy from the New York Pangers podcast saying aloha mahalo. Got to know I'm bleeding blue at you, and I think Shaggy might be too. Just a different shade. Just a different shade, and aloha.